I'll pop the popcorn.
I'll bring the wine.
It's about to
And
happen.
it is perfect time.
Our very own
It's
goal.
to intoxicate your system.
It's the work week wind down.
With me, HD.
And pearls of wisdom. Happy New Year. Clink, 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 clink.
Cheers to
Cheers.
episode 11.
To episode 11.
Cheers to you.
Cheers
for
to you.
rocking with us.
We want to shout out Martinelli's Sparkling Blush Cider. I've never had this kind.
Okay, so I'm going to sip. Let's cheers to us.
Cheers to episode 11.
To episode
And
11.
to a Happy New Year.
And to a Happy New Year, okay?
It's sweeter than I thought.
So,
but it's nice.
Sis,
Mm-hmm.
Initially, you don't remember. So I know you don't remember now.
Okay.
But
I don't remember.
So when I gave you your going away present.
Yes.
And it was the popcorn and wine theme.
Yes.
Purposefully made.
It was beautiful.
Gifting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I mean, she's a whole pastor, right? So I wasn't about to get her a bottle of
Not a pastor.
Okay. She preaches. She's
that part. Okay, so anywho, we don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
No, okay. So I didn't get a bottle of wine, but I bought this specific Martinelli's because of the bubbling and the color. And it was the blush. And I had all of these different varieties of like popcorn.
Yes, you did.
Box.
Now, I remember all the popcorns. I remember you giving me Martinelli's. I do not remember that it was this particular one, but I like it. Mm-hmm. So I will be getting some more. It's delicious. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Happy New Year, sis.
Yum. Cheers.
Cheers. To Pal Made. Okay.
Shout out to Jasmine for getting these beautiful glasses. Thank you, Jazz.
Thank you, Jazz.
Can you see the pal? Can y'all see the pal?
Wait, you know what? I should have filled it up more because then you would be able to see it. I don't know.
I mean, we can still fill it up. Listen.
Because we got enough. Oh, okay.
The songwriter said, fill me
till I overflow.
I want to run over.
She's trying to harmonize. All right, come on again.
I really wasn't. I'm just singing.
Over.
Bless her heart.
I know. Remember what I said about the episode? I know I'm bless her heart. Like, that lady cannot sing, okay? Bless her heart.
Bless her.
I
didn't say that. Okay. Oh, y'all can see it now. I just got to tilt my little sparkling cider over a little bit more. Y'all see the pal?
Y'all see them made. Okay, it's a Malika HD, but still.
And period.
And period. Thank you, Miss Jasmine Lee. Sips and cheers to you. Happy New Year, sis.
Happy New Year's, everyone.
New Year. Happy New Year.
We pray that this new year brings an abundance of peace, of joy, of laughter, because we give a lot.
And love.
And love. And
intentionality.
Love. Come on. What else?
Purpose.
Come on.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
And fulfillment. Right? And the word that captivated me in 2025, impact. Impact. Let this be the year of impact for you. Because I don't know about you, it's a year of impact for us.
For sure. You know what my 2025 word was?
What was it?
Steadfast. Steadfast.
Mm-hmm.
Because those challenges will come.
Yeah.
But as long as you stand fast or be steadfast, in the word, your ground will not be removed from under you. It will not be shaken. Okay? That I know for sure. Like I know for sure. So yes, this year, this year, purpose is the bubbly from the cider.
It's okay. You don't even have to explain, honey. What's understood does not need to be explained.
Fact. You know what? I'm silly, but sometimes I am such a lady.
As you should be. I am clutching my pearls.
OMG. Okay, funny story before we get in. So I'm in the office with one of my coworkers, and if they are watching, because it was a couple of us, it was a few, all of us were, well, not all of us, but we were in my office, and we were talking about like just different stuff. And I don't know. So I'm going to ask you this question and then I'll go into the conversation.
Okay.
But do you wear stockings with everything? Like when you wear like you
I don't know if I should be offended. I gotta see what angle you coming at.
Okay, you know what?
I do wear stockings, but I don't wear stockings with everything.
Okay, so
I figure out she's shading me. Go ahead.
No, totally not. I love you, sis. No, I wouldn't do that. Privately, yes, like when we joke around. But
okay,
no, like,
I mean, but if you are, I could take it.
No, okay, so this is what happened.
Okay.
We were having a conversation. I don't even remember like what the conversation was about, but one of my coworkers, we said something, and then the other one was like, "Wait, so you wear stockings?" She said it was almost as if she was appalled. She said, "Yes, I wear stockings. I am a lady." Sis, when I tell you we all fell out, it was.
I really want to know how old this young lady is. This person is to see what era she grew up in.
Says she's younger than us.
Oh. Okay, we're gonna leave that.
Let's sit with that. But it was so lovely.
My edges.
It was hilarious. And the way she just kind of like pulled back and was so poised, and then she postured up and said, "Yes, I wear stockings," as if she was just like offended. She said, and then she rebutted with, "'Cause I'm a lady."
Hilarious.
Sis, if you're watching this episode on New Year's, you know I'm talking about it. But I love you, and you know it's coming from a place of love.
Listen.
But our other coworkers were in there too. Maybe one of two of them will watch this as well and just start rolling on the floor, because in that moment, that was the funniest thing. And I just was like, yeah, I'm going to remember this and I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to probably, when I go back to work, I'm just going to look at her and be like, "'Cause I'm a lady."
You got to do it like she did it though.
She said, "Yes, I wear stockings. 'Cause I'm a lady."
Okay, so purposefully made. Okay, we'll talk offline about that. I got something for you for her. Okay, and I don't even know who the her is, but I got something for you for her. Okay. Yeah, you know where I'm going with it. Yep. Okay. All right.
In this episode, say in this episode, sis.
In this episode.
No. See, she don't remember from episode 7. Like, and this episode.
See, that's okay. I can't even do it because that's not my thing.
Okay, no, I'm messing with you, sis. Okay, that was a whole funny. Yes, so we're back. And this year, yes, we're focusing on intentionality. We're focusing on purpose. We're also focusing on mental health, right? And social emotional learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the impact that it has on our children, that it still has on us, and us understanding our children's emotions and feelings and how we deal with that. Or how do we snap back from an emotional roller coaster, if you will?
Well, life is always going to life, right? There's always going to be challenges no matter what age and stage you are, right? Yeah. And so speaking regarding children, right? When we talk about social emotional learning, we're talking about what impacts children's ability to be able to learn in institutional environments such as school, but also outside of school. Children bring so much to their learning environments. And it's up to us as the adults and as the educators in their lives to figure out or to tap in. First, we got to build a rapport with them, but to also be able to tap into what's actually happening in their lives, right?
Yeah.
Because if a kid is normally, interactive and engaging, and then all of a sudden they're no longer bringing that level of engagement or interaction into their learning environment, at some point that educator should take the time out to find out what is actually happening. Maybe that child wants someone to just say, "Is everything okay?" for them to be able to share. But if we keep moving on as if we don't notice there's a shift or there's a change in their presenting, then what we do is we do a disservice to those kids.
Yeah.
And one of the goals for me in becoming a school counselor was to be very aware of any shifts. But it took me some time to get to know my students in order for me to be able to even know that something shifted within them.
Yeah.
Maybe their countenance is not as bubbly or vibrant as it was in previous times. And so it's up to me to say, is to pull that kid to the side. Is everything okay? There are a lot of precipitating factors involved that leads to unhealthy coping mechanism in kids. And if we, as the adults in their lives, are not taking the time out to figure out there's a shift. I think in one of the episodes you talked about your children and how you, as a mother, when something shifts in your kid.
Yeah.
But I remember saying not every parent is aware.
Yep.
Right? It's not a unilateral statement to be made, because parents like you are fully vested in what's happening in your children's lives. Now, I think even in the episode you talked about one of your children, your daughters, to not push it, to give her an opportunity to come, but you still are aware that something changed. And so that's what we're talking about today, that awareness, right? Being intentional about being in our family members and our community, in people's lives, whether it's friends, families, our students, or whatever your occupation is. Maybe it's your coworker. You notice all of a sudden this particular coworker is coming into work and they're heavy, like their spirit is down, but we pretend like,
everything is okay.
Everything's okay. And we
don't even address
business as usual.
Yeah.
And we don't even take the time out to say, I don't know what's going on, but I did notice that there's something different about you, and whatever it is. And you take it for what it's worth. But for me, if it were me in that situation, I would say, for whatever it is, whatever's going on, just know that I'm praying for you. That would be something that I would say, because maybe they don't want to talk, but also maybe they're waiting for someone to acknowledge that there's a heaviness on them that no one else, maybe in their family or anywhere else, has acknowledged, and they're just waiting for someone to see them.
You know what? That part right there, right?
You take a sip on that one. Happy New Year.
To see them, that is so important, right? And I think that could also be the segue to another point that I was thinking about, right? Because us as teen moms, right? What were the precipitating factors that led to us being teen moms? I mean, I don't know your story, I know my story, etc. But I knew I had a boyfriend and I wasn't having protected sex, right? I didn't think that. I will a little more background. Like, my mom was a single mom. She worked. I was a latchkey kid. Um, but I just wanted to have fun. I don't know that it was a loss of love, but or not feeling love. I knew that my boyfriend did make me feel something that I didn't feel, and I guess that's what boyfriends do, right?
Can I ask this question of you? And it may be a very personal question, and if you don't want to answer, I'm okay with that too. But was your father in your life?
He was. My dad died when I was about 8 or 9.
But up until that point, he was in your life.
He was.
You knew your dad.
I
Right.
did.
So there wasn't a void or a longing for.
So I don't know that I would necessarily say that. Actually, I never even thought about that like that. Um, I don't know. Maybe I just wanted someone of my own, you know? Um, with respect to my dad dying when I was younger, my mom had boyfriends. Some I didn't care too much for, and maybe one or two I liked, right? Um, but that wasn't my thing. And I just knew that I wanted something different when I did acquire a boyfriend. Um, it could have been me longing for something that was just for me. because I was a teenager and my mom was working and she had a boyfriend or whatever, it was, okay, you know what? Maybe she is not giving me the full attention. Or maybe I had experienced, her having boyfriends and giving them the attention that I wanted or needed, or her, being out and about and I was home because I was old enough to be. And
Right.
this was even before having a boyfriend too, for me when I was younger.
Sure.
But it could have been, you know what? I was on my own. And when I had the opportunity to like have a boyfriend, like I did. And I went okay, no, I'm joking. No. I said, what? The window open? Okay. Okay, no, it wasn't like that. We had fun. Like that was my friend. We would go shopping. I was a tomboy too. So it was a little different, how we kind of like came about. But I think I just wanted someone
For
for
yourself.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand that. For me, um, mine was several fold. I'm not even gonna say twofold, right? For
Okay.
me, I definitely was looking for love in all the wrong places, right? Because I had an early introduction to perversion as a child, being a victim of sexual abuse as a child. And I can speak without a quivering voice now because I've done some scaffolding. I've done the work to heal those broken places in my life. And I didn't start that healing journey until I was in my early 20s.
Mm,
Is when I started that healing journey because it was necessary for me as a mom to be able to be the best version of myself that I could be. And I knew that I couldn't do that without getting the help that I needed through therapy and so forth. But also digging deep into my spiritual disciplines. So for me, mine was more trauma informed, looking for love in all the wrong places. Plus, also, I didn't know my biological father, right? And so there was a void in
okay.
me that I didn't know was a void, but I just knew that there was a longing to be loved in a way that I didn't really understand, and I was too young to really comprehend. And so that for me, and no adult in my life picked up on something was wrong.
Mm,
No adult in my life saw me. And if not for nothing, it became important for me to see my students, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me to see my students, I've got to get to know my students. For me to see my daughters, I gotta know my daughters. And that sounds strange, but there's so many parents out there that don't even know their kids. They have no clue about their children. And I'm not saying we know everything about our children. Like my kids are adults now, so I may not know everything about them. I'm certain that I don't know everything about them, but I do notice a
Same
shift.
here.
I do
Same
notice a
here.
shift in their spirit, their personality, like
Yeah.
what's going on, their countenance. Is everything all right? Come on, let's talk. And if they say, mom, not right now. I respect that. I respect their boundaries. And
Yeah.
and I always share, well, listen, when you're ready, I'm here. And I try my best to make sure I'm validating
Excuse
my
me.
kids. I know what it feels like and what it looks like to not be validated. And it is a very hurtful thing. It is a very hurtful thing. It's hurtful in hindsight because and for me, it became important in ensuring my kids knew, that whatever it is that you desire to be, I believe in you. I'm proud of you and your accomplishments. Do you know
Yeah.
how important it is to tell our kids, regardless of their age? My kids are adults, and I still tell them, I'm so proud of you.
You know what? So interesting. We had parent teacher night a couple of weeks back,
Hmm.
and the social studies teacher, I don't want to chop it up. One of, or maybe it was language arts. but one of his teachers sent me an email maybe a week or two before, it could have even been a little longer, before the parent teacher night. In the email, she mentioned how proud of Isaac she was that he came up with this idea and implemented it. She heard him talking about it with his group because it was a group project that they had to do together. And he came up with this concept and idea, and he was showing them how to implement it. And she said, okay, this is the reason why I do this. I've never heard a kid articulate himself so well to help the majority.
Come on.
So I read the email and I was like, wow, like that was good. Like, oh my gosh. So of course I'm excited because I'm like a whole proud parent. Right?
Yes.
So I'm going, I'm like, I'm telling my husband, right, because I husband, look at the email that I got and no, 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 no. So fast forward to parent teacher night, we're talking, and she's like, wait a minute, yes, Miss, and I'm like, wait a minute, like you're the teacher who sent me the email. I said, oh my gosh. I said, do you know? I read the email. I was so excited. I shared with my husband. I came home and I'm like, son, like I heard you did a really good thing and it was purposeful. And he was like, yeah, it was okay. It was something that needed to be done. And I looked and I'm like, so I'm explaining the story to her, his interaction. And I said, son is like very modest. He doesn't really like to get accolades for something he feels is needed. And she said, yeah. And this was something that she's going back to your point, basically. She said, although they feel they don't need it, and their response is not to capture what it is that you're saying to, in my words, big them up, they still require it. They still need it. They must have it.
Yes.
And I was like,
yeah.
wow.
It's so true. And I'm glad you shared that because I was actually going to say that. Regardless of what they think that they need, it's so important for the adults in children's lives to tell them how proud they are of them. It is. I can't tell you what it does to their younger selves, but also when they get older, to their older selves. So when they go back and reflect,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
on their younger self, they can say, you know what, this person or that person did this or that for me, and they made me feel good
Yes.
about myself, even though I didn't think that I needed that.
You know what? So with the whole feel good of yourself, right? I take it back. I know we closed out the Christmas episode, but I'm still wearing red. Okay. Okay. One of the statements, I don't remember who said it. Maybe actually, was it Maya Angelou? She said, I might not remember what you did or what you gave me, but I'll always remember how you made me feel. Yes. And that is so important because as you said, from childhood to adulthood, the earlier affirmations give them the confidence.
Yes. Yes.
That's the adulthood.
And that's one of the reasons why I started the Girls with Confidence group at my job. I started it for several reasons, but one of them being I remember being that little girl not feeling validated, not feeling like she had any level of confidence. Why? Because of what was happening to me as a child, but also because I didn't have people that I can recall, right, in my life that was so impactful. There was some people that were very impactful in my life, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying as in terms of like teachers, I can't even remember some of my teachers' names because it was just there was no one teacher or even school counselor or even administrator that made me feel like I was important. And so when I look at my boss, who is an amazing administrator, she makes those kids feel like they are seen and heard and valued, and that is such an important attribute to give to kids because they're always going to remember that when they get our big age. They're going to remember the people who made them feel good about themselves,
Yeah.
who helped build their confidence. and help them to become the great people who they will eventually become, you know? And so to that end, um, we I see you. I see you. It's important for us to not only use those words, but to show it in action. Show it in action to the people whose lives we affect. Show them that I see you. I see you making strides and doing things. You know, my brother, ooh, I'm about to cry. I can feel it getting ready to come up.
Oh, sis.
My older brother, I'm so grateful to God for him. He wrote on my birthday, "Happy birthday, sis." He said, "I just want you to know how proud I am of you and all of your accomplishments. I know that I don't say it, and I've never said it to you, but I just want you to know I'm so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing." That came from my older brother. And
Wait, on this past birthday?
yes, yes.
Oh, sis, that's amazing. That is
And I can't
amazing.
tell you how that impacted me in a way. There's so much I can say. Just in general. But that's another reason why I'm very careful to make sure that I encourage people around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, sometimes we do for others what we want done for us.
Yes.
And it may not happen for us, but for me, it makes me feel good to encourage other people. And that was another reason why this podcast became so important for me as a platform to uplift and encourage, to allow people to know that you are important. And we didn't necessarily title this particular episode, but if you will allow me to say, I see you. I see you. I see you struggling out there, but I see the greatness that you are, even in the midst of the struggle, the grit and the grind. What you're doing now matters. So, regardless of what you're encountering, it is a new year. It is a new, I pray that you have new vision. I pray that whatever it is that you desire to accomplish, I hope you know and realize that there's nothing standing in your way, nothing and no one. Whatever you desire to do it. Write it down. I'm going to go scriptural for you for a second. Habakkuk
Baka.
2.
I
Write
knew
the
it.
vision and make it
I
plain.
knew it.
Go after your dreams and visions and goals. Crush them because you can. If I can do it,
You
you
can do
can
it.
do it too.
But also, your visions matter. Your passions matter. Because similarly, teen mom, right? My purpose, giving back to teen moms, lifting them up, encouraging them, coaching them, helping them along the way, not just with lip service, though, sis, right?
Acts of service.
Acts of service,
Mm-hmm.
intentional life skill workshop,
Mm-hmm.
right? Also, not for nothing, my testimony,
Mm-hmm.
which is powerful because only way that you all will learn how to do something or what not to do is hearing the outcome of someone else's experience in that situation. And some of the pushback that I got from my clients
Mm-hmm.
when they had to interact with social workers and therapists and people of administration in their school when they didn't know how to show up
Mm-hmm.
after experiencing a negative experience of being in a negative environment was they don't understand me.
Mhm.
They'll be like, Miss David, you get it. You were a teen mom.
Mhm.
How are they telling me how to do X, Y, and Z and they don't know my walk?
Correct.
Right? However, as an adult, I would always say they are adults. They may not know your walk, but they may feel that they know the best, thing for you to do in this situation because of the wisdom that they had. I would never like, not agree with another adult offering counsel to any of my clients, but I knew that I would be able to use that, how you say you're going to reel me back in,
Mhm.
to reel them back in order to get them
Yeah.
to accomplish what it is that was assigned for them to accomplish.
Right.
But not being seen is a
It's
thing.
a thing.
It's a huge thing.
It's a
And I
thing.
promise you, even in the workplace,
Yes, it is. We talked about workplace trauma, one of our episodes, previous episodes.
yes, you can have every accolade, but if you don't have a certain level of pedigree, you're not going to be seen.
It's so true.
Or when they see you, they're looking at you as your position as opposed to the person that you are
Absolutely.
or
Mm.
what you may bring to the table.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then your opinions, advice, and suggestions may not be honored because you don't have that level of pedigree. However, they will find out later when it comes to me, like y'all about to do exactly what I mentioned because that was the compliant way to do it or whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. Shade to the workplace trauma situation.
We're not gonna bleed on the people. We're
We
not
not.
gonna bleed on the
Although I'm
people.
wearing red, I'm just saying, it's not blood, okay? It's love. It's love. It's love. But it's very important
Yeah.
that we share our testimony
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is the realest thing that someone could hear that can shift
Mhm.
their mindset or that will allow them to make a decision
Mhm.
that won't have an adverse effect or impact on their lives later on.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to be said with um not getting so caught up in our own that we're not taking the time to be intentional, um,
Yeah,
and that we're not taking the time to see the heart of people, and how important their contributions to our lives and to the society as a whole
yeah,
is, right? Their contributions are rather. Um, and specifically speaking of children, I think that this episode is very intentional and important in, in sharing the necessity of us encouraging the younger generation. And that comes from a very real and personable place. Because I mentioned in a previous episode, um, I had experienced a great loss in my life. A loved one had passed away, who was very influential in my life. And he always, he saw me. He always saw me. And like I said, in my later years, I admonished him to be my godfather because I didn't know my father. And the men that were in my life at the time were not stand up men. And when I say stand-up men, meaning, I experienced abuse as a child, and, um, and so it led me to look for love in all the wrong places, and my godfather, Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, may he rest in peace, he saw me, and instead of him shunning me, he welcomed me, and he encouraged me that even beyond my mistakes, that I still had value and that I could add value
hmm
to any place and space. Um, it just took me to realize my own worth, and he helped me in that realization. And so that's why I do what I do today. because of people like him who influenced my life in such a great way. They weren't so busy doing things for everybody else that they didn't take time to see the child who was lost.
Yeah.
And he did that. He did that for me. And and I have some like one of my big sisters. Created a big sister, little sister mentoring program at the church,
Mm.
and I got assigned this particular big sister. We call her Miki, and Miki was another one who was super influential in my life. She saw me, and there was another big sister. Her name is P. I'm gonna call her P. Um, P saw me. She used to let me drive her car. Okay. She
Oh,
threw my baby shower. She herself was a teen mom,
wow.
and she got it. She got it on every level. She threw my baby shower. Her and her sister threw my baby shower. Even though people were like, no, 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 she did it anyway. And so I'm grateful to people like that helped me along the journey. And that those are like my later teen years, because obviously I was pregnant at 17, right? Um, they welcomed me with love and kindness and acceptance in spite of my mistakes, right? Not even knowing my story, right? They didn't know my story. They didn't know my background, the precipitating factors, the social emotional despair that I was in. They didn't know. But all they saw was this teenage pregnant girl, and we're not gonna leave her hanging.
They were being genuine and
Absolutely.
intentional and
Absolutely.
sincere.
Mhm.
Whereas I know you mentioned in a previous episode, it was in church and the church folk wanted to kind of turn their nose up and turn their backs. And I'm assuming that they were some of the same church folk who was like, no, don't do this and
Yep.
don't do that.
All day.
But how do Christ-like people judge us and shun us away? That's why there's a lot of church hurt.
There is church hurt. And maybe one future episode we'll talk about church hurt. Because the fact of the matter is, people make up the church. And we're gonna save that for a future episode. We're gonna save that for a future episode. But so I love when people say, "Oh, I got church hurts. I ain't never going back to church." But I'm like, but the same people that are in the church are outside in the world. Are you going to not ever go back out in the world? Because the people out there too. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. We're gonna talk about that in another episode. We'll talk about that in another episode. But there were, just as much as there were quote unquote church hurt, there was church help too.
Yeah.
There was church healing too.
I love that.
God just dropped it like it was hot on me just now.
He said, let the people know that you don't have to shy away from the church, okay? Shy away from those people who are hurting, the people who need church, okay? Because church is not just them. We are all branches of one family. Now, we got cousins who like to beat us up, or we the cousins that be beating people up, but we still family.
Right. Cousins hurt. You still part of the family, though.
Exactly.
I ain't leaving the family because my cousin hurt me. And I got stories like that, too. But I ain't leaving the family. You know, I'm still here. We still ticking and clicking.
We're here.
So, we got to rethink and rephrase and reframe and think how we could. So let me because I'm getting ready to go on a whole tangent. But I say all of that to say there were people who stood up and rose to the occasion. Thank you. I'm like, rise, that don't make sense. Rose to the occasion and helped when there still was another side who was willing to have their nose stuck up and hurt. There were still people to help and heal.
But and guess what? Growing up where we are right now, that's why we are those same people who have done it for us. We stand on the shoulders of the strong women who said, I'm not going to do what the naysayers are telling me not to do. I'm not going to do what the saints are telling me to do, because we are all here to help one another. So I do want to circle back.
But they were the ones that said, I see you. They didn't say it with their words. They said it with their action.
Right? So if you have church hurt, move away from them people that in church that hurt you and go and navigate towards the ones that you see helping. When you put yourself out there sometimes, the right people will see you because one, you're God's child. He's going to make sure you're taken care of.
You're taken care of all day.
Yeah.
He will always do that. And, you know, to that end, reflecting back, you had given me a charge and I had never done this in my life. And I'm thankful. Thank you for saying, sis, we're going to write letters to our younger selves. So, in writing a letter to my younger self, thank you for charging me with that task and responsibility. I've never done that before, like I said. And it was cathartic.
Yes.
It was cathartic. So I felt like I did a lot of talking. I want to know if you're ready to read your letter to your younger self.
Sure.
Okay.
And let me just say, like, and I know you journal too, but I journal. I always write. And yes, this is very healing, right? I think journaling is healing because you can get out of a certain mental space when you release a lot of things.
It's so true.
So, all right, here I go. Let me also say, I'm reading this letter to my younger self, and I will probably do a call to action for our viewers to do the same type of exercise.
Yeah.
Right?
I like that.
And share whatever you can of how it made you feel, what things it revealed about you, and with the same token of it being a new year, what are you going to change and do different? And what are you going to multiply on? Like, so all of the good, like, how are you going to expound on that to make it even better?
Even better.
This is the year of impact. So as we're charging ourselves to be accountable and impactful within our journey on this platform, we want to know, how are you going to impact you so that you will be able to impact others?
Love that.
All
Love
right,
that.
here we go. 12/5/25. Oh, well, that's actually because this is when we're recording. Small disclosure, every time I write, I always put the date because I want to know the mindset that I was in when I wrote.
Was that the date that you wrote that letter?
Yes. So this was some time ago, but I think it still will resonate because the concept of the letter.
Okay.
So now tomorrow, if I'm writing another letter to myself, it might be something totally different.
I'm gonna need you to get to that letter because I'm sitting on the edge of the couch right now.
I know, because I'm thinking, and I love the smell of paper. I'm sorry, you know, because it's the whole writing. Okay, anyway. So corny.
Really up back in, y'all. I'm trying.
Okay, you know what? Let me wet my whistle. Hold on.
Look, the cameraman said, all right, I'm going to let you.
Appreciate you much. Back over here, cameraman. You see me?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, dear Malika, you have a light that shines so bright in you that you will attract all kinds of energy. Some will want to glean from it, see with it, be part of it, become recognized because of it, want to be part of it, illuminating the shine more, or they'll want you to dim it. Don't let them. People are in your life for a reason, temporary placement, for a season, because either you or they can't do life's called mission alone or without combined connection called upon to do that certain thing or particular thing. Then there's people who will be connected to you for eternity. Lifelong relationships. You have to use your discernment and be able to pay close attention to put the energies in the proper category. Steward your relationships well. Yes, you are smart. You are strong. You are bold. You are beautiful and knowledgeable about many things, but you'll still need guidance to learn and grow more into whom God will call you to be.
Mm-hmm.
All decisions, good or bad, and made in the moment, have consequences. What you're praying and asking for may not always look like what you imagine it to be, but don't ever not double down on you, because your wishes, hopes, dreams, and feelings matter and are very valid. Just know the traditional way of doing things are not for everyone. Your father has already told you that you are uniquely and wonderfully made. And when you get older, you're going to change you're going to change the way made is spelled because of who you'll now represent. So don't make yourself small to allow others to feel big. Stop people pleasing because you can never make everyone happy no matter how much you try. And stop trying to prove yourself to fit in. You don't have to. What's for you, God has for you, and it's greater than anything you can ever imagine. See, God knows all and he has you covered as long as you stay faithful. But he also gives you grace even when you fail. But keep in mind, although you may not make all of the right decisions, you fall forward instead of failing because you have the grit to learn from your mistakes. I am sorry for the pain that was inflicted upon you with the separation of your parents, death of your father, mental, physical, and sexual abuse, lacking the quality of life every child should experience, and the emotional burdens placed upon you that was not yours to carry. These experiences will carry you through in various stages of your life, providing you with the strength you need to press on and become determined to create new life for you and those you encounter. These experiences were not in vain and will shape and purpose you for such a time when God is ready to use it for you to assist others for his glory alone. In closing, focus on the goal ahead because evolution is a journey. You will learn how to make the word of God work for you in every situation and season of your life. This doesn't mean that there will be no challenges, because there will be, but you'll have the tools to carry you through. Malika, you have to constantly meditate on the word. Life will always happen, but God created you to bounce back. So keep praying because God is listening and will always be there even when you may not feel him. Be blessed and be yourself because everyone else is already taken.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to go ahead and get into mine.
I love it.
Hey, beautiful black little pearl. Yes, you. I'm writing to you from the future, from a place where healing has had time to take root and flourish. I'm here to remind you to lift up your head, lift it high, even when the world around you feels heavy. I know you're enduring the kind of pain no child should ever have to endure. I know the nights feel long, the silence feels loud, and the secrets you're forced to carry feels too heavy for such young shoulders. But listen to me, sweet pearl. The shame is not yours. The burden is not yours. What happened to you is not your fault. I see you sitting on the floor. I see you sitting, playing with your Cabbage Patch dolls and Barbies, lining them up in neat little rows, trying to create a world safer than the one around you. I know you feel alone. I know you whisper prayers that feel unanswered. But hear this truth that will follow you your entire life. God is with you, even then, even when the room felt cold, even when your tears fell onto the pillows, even when you didn't feel his presence, his hand was covering you. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Now listen carefully, because this is important. On those school days when you're out on the playground watching girls jump double dutch during recess, I want you to do something that feels uncomfortable. Go, introduce yourself, walk over there, say hello. You don't have to hide. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to carry the weight of the nights into your days. For God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. There are people out there who really do care about you. There are friends waiting for you. Oof. There are connections that will show you that you are worthy of love, laughter, and light. So get up, go, little pearl, make new friends, open your heart just a little. Because by doing that one brave thing, just one, you're going to open yourself up in ways you don't even think are possible. God is going to use even small moments like this to begin shaping your courage, your confidence, your sense of belonging. Trouble truly don't last always. You will grow. You will learn. You will rise. Young one, I need you to understand another truth. Your mistakes are not your identity. You will stumble. You will fall. But every fall becomes a lesson, and every lesson becomes wisdom. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. One day, yes, one day, you will stand tall in the fullness of God, of who God created you to be. You will shed the shame that never belonged to you in the first place. You will speak boldly. You will create beautifully. You will walk in purpose with confidence that can only be born from surviving what tried to break you. Hallelujah. God is within her. She will not fail. Psalm 46:5. And hear me, little pearl, little black pearl. You will not just survive. You will become a guide, a beacon, a voice of courage for young girls who are hurting in ways that you once hurt. Girls who feel small, girls who feel broken, girls who are afraid to dream. You will teach them to rise, to believe, to chase their purpose. You will show them how to trust God even when the world feels unsteady. Because your story, beloved, is not a story of defeat. It's a story of divine redemption. John 1:5 says, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness cannot overcome it. The light, that light is in you now. It's always in you. And the brightness of your future will make every dark moment tremble. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So rise, little pearl. Lift your chin. Dry your tears. Walk towards those girls jumping double dutch. Walk toward life. Walk towards healing. Walk toward purpose. You are chosen. You are protected. You are powerful and are deeply loved with divine strength and unwavering truth. Your future pearls of wisdom. That was heavy.
That was definitely
so heavy, but it was necessary.
So I was just going to say that it was totally necessary. I'm sorry that I put the charge on you just because of what it did, the emotion that it evoked in you. And I'm sure like while you were writing, you were going down memory lane, pseudo reliving what it was that you were talking about. And again, it's definitely cathartic, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt still, right? Because sis, I see you.
Sis, I see you. I see you. I wouldn't say that it hurts. So, right, because every tear doesn't mean that it's a tear because something hurts. Even in the midst of reading the letter that I wrote to my younger self, it was a cry from a place of my adult self seeing my younger self and encouraging my younger self to say, don't worry, little black pearl, because one day you're going to change the world. So don't wallow in the sorrow of what you're going through.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
There's hope. Be encouraged.
Yeah.
Be encouraged. Walking in faith, walking your purpose, walking your future. Walking your future, not knowing what that future is going to look like.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. That's deep. That's scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where faith comes in, though.
Hello.
That is where faith comes in. So I'm going to be honest, right? Because I don't have like massive questions, but I have statements and just observation, right? Observation meaning like you see a thing, right? So I get it. Like, I get it. I understand. I mean, we share a lot of similarities.
We do.
Like,
that's why we were called together to do this.
Sis, like, I was like, wait a minute, did she read my letter? Like, I didn't read my, no, I had read my letter prior to, but I'm like, we wrote these letters at very different times, and these letters were just revealed during this episode. So how can you be pulling something out of my story? Like, where they do that at? Okay.
And likewise.
Like, what I heard. Wow.
Wow. To you as well.
Wait, look. Pow. Okay.
That part.
Because I can't help myself.
Well, she made me do it. Because I would never have thought to write a letter to my younger self, but she made MEHD me do it.
What? Okay, so did you hear in my letter where I said when you get a little older, like you're going to change the way made is spelled?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because. Okay. So what I got out of your letter, like coping mechanisms, right? How you created a whole world for yourself using your dolls.
Yes.
And I call that like escapism.
That's what it is.
Do you find yourself doing something similar in your future reality?
So even in my future reality, even if I rewinded the hands of time as an adult, yes, right? And even in my current state, because my future reality from that younger self lived through her 20s and her 30s, and now here I am in my 40s. And so I would say yes, because I wouldn't only want to do it in injustice by speaking of my current present time. But in my 20s, yes. In my 30s, yes. I absolutely created these realms of escape.
Got you.
To cope with,
excuse me,
some of the things that I had endured as a child, some of those dark times. And I think that, I'm not alone in that other people, do the same thing in their times of, even reflecting, back on those times. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why I started writing this book, but also why I paused in writing the book. That the emotion that came with writing that letter to my younger self is all of the emotion that I'm writing this book, and which is why it's taking me 8 years to write.
Wow.
Because I'm writing from a place of
I gotta dig up trauma that I didn't want to dig up.
Yeah.
You know, but the fact remains that I'm supposed to write this book. It's a burden, not a burden meaning like, oh, you know, I don't want to do it. It's a burden in essence of, I know I have to do it, even though I'm not fully equipped in this time as I'm writing to deal with the emotions that come along with having to write it.
Got you. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's courageous for you to do such a thing, because I know I push like, when is this book coming out? Like, when are you going to get back to writing this book? Not understanding the magnitude of emotion it flares up because of the trauma and the situations and the experiences that were prepared for on the pages for others to be able to read and understand and use your testimony to get through. Right? It's heavy. It's hard.
Yeah.
I will not bother you anymore. Okay, no, I'm not telling the truth.
No.
I'm gonna. I'm not telling the truth. Like, I can't even lie. Okay, like I can lay down, but I cannot lie. Because I got issues. Only sometimes. But I think doing something on this level, this small level, will help to propel you to be like, you know what? No, I got to do this, and this is why. Yeah. Like, it gives you that unction.
Well, I'm grateful that I have an accountability partner. Her name is Angelica.
Yes.
And she also is writing a book now as well. And we are each other's accountability partner in making sure that we push through.
Cool.
That we, so, you know, we'll even text each other to say, hey, I did some writing, you know, even if it's like 10 minutes worth or 30 minutes worth, you know. We've even jumped on a Zoom. She's established a Zoom for us to, after hearing one of our episodes, she came to me one day and she said, it fell in my spirit that basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that we're going to be each other's accountability partners to help us to push and write our books. And we'll do it together. Would you mind if I created a Zoom so that we could write, you know, we'll go silent, and then we'll come back in on a break and check in with each other, you know, and then take an actual, you know, physical break. They call it the Pomodoro method. Actually take a break, and then we'll go back to writing. Maybe we'll write for 30 minutes, or we'll write for an hour and then come back and check in. So we'll spend a couple of hours on a Zoom together to make sure we're being intentional in that time, that this is the only time we're setting aside to write, you know. And so, you know, I'm grateful to people, to God for people like her, you know, that keeps me accountable, to people like you to push me to say, all right, when is this book coming out? Come on, let's write, let's get there, you know, and I'm grateful, but it is a lot of emotionalism, digging back into those memories that you don't want to unearth for the purpose, and literally put it in black and white.
That's a whole other movement, though.
It is.
Right? Because that's not like you just journaling and then you pack it up and then you pull it out to see where you've come from, come since that particular time. But I also commend you too, because you have a full-time job. You're in school. Like, that is a lie. But I go back to the grit and the leadership qualities. Like, we were built for this.
Yeah. Come on.
We were built for that. We were built for this.
You know, in one of our first episodes, you were like, we said iron sharpens iron, and you were like, sharpen me up, sis. Oh. That part right there, I still like have it here. Said, sharpen me up, sis.
All righty then. Well, guess what then? That's what we doing, okay? Let's see. Okay, so the second part to that question is this why you created a space to help others in a safe environment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So we talked about earlier in this episode, about precipitating factors, things that lead up to unhealthy coping mechanisms.
Yes.
Right. And we talked about how, the adults in the lives of children often overlook what children are doing or going through, whether they're saying it or not saying it. They're verbal cues and nonverbal cues. Right. And so it was important for me to create a safe space and a safe haven, if you will, for girls specifically, because I didn't have that safe space as a little girl growing up. I didn't. And, and that might be a hard reality to hear. Like, if my loved ones are listening, some of my loved ones are listening, that may be a hard reality to hear, but that is my experience.
Yeah.
And, as hard of a reality as it may be for someone else to hear, it is still my lived experience.
Yeah.
And I am, one of the things that God has called me to be is be transparent. And in being transparent, not only is it cathartic for me, I believe that I'm supposed to be transparent to help someone else along the way. The Bible says in Revelations 12 that they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of their testimony. And so that in and of itself tells me, if I take part B of that particular line in the text, it tells me the power of our stories and our testimonies and how it helps someone else to overcome. How do we expect other people to overcome if we never share?
If they don't know that they can.
Well, if we never share, right? How do we expect someone else to even know that they can? So it becomes important for us to share those stories, right? One, it's healing for us, but it's also helping for them.
For sure.
Whoever they are.
Yep. I'm going to ask this next question only because I want to do this, because I have this thought, something that I wanted to share in one of the other episodes, but it's purposeful for this episode, actually. Okay. Your survival has shaped you in so many ways and causes you to attempt saving your younger self daily. Has this resurfaced when hearing from your students and young parishioners, and how do you balance?
Yes, that's a whole lot in that question.
I'm sorry. That is a talk show moment. Okay.
Yes. Yes. And I want to make sure I read it to me one more time.
Yeah, okay. Your survival has shaped you in so many ways and causes you to attempt saving your younger self daily, hence in your students, right? Has this resurfaced when hearing from your students and young parishioners? So, okay. And then how do you balance it?
So, yes, it has resurfaced. In fact, it almost resurfaces, I'm going to say weekly. I won't say daily, weekly, especially when I'm getting to know my students and hearing their stories and things like that. And so many times I just want to reach in and just grab their experiences and hug them in those moments where it's hard.
Yeah.
Because I see my younger self in them. And so, what I do now is definitely purposeful and purpose driven, but also in not only my students, but some people that I encounter as I minister.
Yep.
I definitely can identify with some of their experiences, especially when I hear stories that are very similar to mine.
Yep.
But, I'm not angry. I'm not angry at the things that happened. I am grateful to God that he kept me. There has been a lifelong, and when I say lifelong, there have been ages, hundreds of years of questions of why God allows good people to suffer. And those good people being children, adults, good people to suffer. And we bring into account this concept of free will. People have the free will to do whatever they want to do, right? And can God stop it? Yes. Why does God not stop it? What I believe is that even in the suffering, God is ever so close to us, even in the moments of hard times, trial and travailing and suffering. That God, I believe God is there with us, even in the midst of the suffering. Right? We can look at Jesus being on the cross, that whole moment, even before he got to the cross, even going into the Garden of Gethsemane, just before going to the cross, when he said, a father, Abba Father, why hast thou, not why hast thou forsaken me? Take this bitter cup from me. I'm thinking of him being on the cross. That's why I went there. Okay. But, Lord, take this bitter cup from me. Nevertheless,
let your will
be not done. My will, but thy will be done. And so regardless of what I'm feeling internally, emotionally, Lord, let your will be done. And even though I am agonizing right now, I don't want to go do that, but I got to go fulfill my purpose. I don't want to endure that, but I know that you're going to be there with me. And even on the cross, even on the cross, he says, Abba, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Even on the cross, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? But even in that feeling, Jesus is fully divine and fully human self, crying to the Father, and where are you? Yeah. But he was there
all the time.
He was there even in the midst of suffering. And I believe that even in the midst of suffering, that God is with us. Again, there people freely choose to do what it is they choose to do.
Yeah.
That is where that free will comes in. And I'm grateful that even in the midst of all that I've gone through, that he was with me, still is with me. But he's given me purpose through that pain.
Yeah.
Through the pain. All of that pain produced purpose for me to be able to do what I'm doing today. Whether it's at work, I'm grateful that my work is also my ministry.
Yeah.
And my ministry is also my work.
Yes.
It's twofold. That's called bivocational. I'm grateful that I don't have to only, this is my job. No. That's my calling.
Yes.
I've had opportunities to have a job and go to work to work my job.
Yeah.
But this is my career, but it's also my calling.
I love that. Because I promise you, there are so much wasted money and degrees with people not following their calling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe because they don't know what it is. So that's part of my role, to help my students navigate. I hear them so many times. Well, my parents want me to do this. My parents want me to do that. My dad wants me to go here. My mom wants me to go there. My mom says there's no money in that. My dad says there's money. And I'm always pointing them back to
their inner self.
What is it that you have a passion and a desire to do? I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
With all love and honor and respect to your parents, I want to know what you want to do. What's deep down on the inside here? Because I wouldn't want you to waste your time like I wasted. I wasted a lot of time trying to figure this thing called life out.
You know what's interesting? So my baby girl said that to me, like, Mommy, I wish you would have been harder on me by telling me to go to community college first. Because yes, she changed her major like 3 times. You know, I still gotta pay tuition.
That part.
Okay.
That part.
For what she didn't like. Now, granted, her credits, some of her credits transfer over. She changed her. Okay. But my point is that you don't know what you want. And now that she's in a place and mindset that she does know what she wants and she's working through it, she's like, wow, I wish I would have known I could have saved y'all some money too. And I'm going to do this way. But again, and I'll talk off the record about some other stuff that she communicated, but it makes more sense, right? We're out here doing what other people are expecting of us instead of letting our light shine. We're letting people dim it so that we can people please.
Can I put a pin in your meter real quick?
Yeah.
And ask you and talk to you about your letter?
Yeah.
To your younger self, because you mentioned that.
I did. Yeah.
In your letter.
I did.
So tell me about a time where, because you said don't let someone else dim your light. Has that ever been an experience for you that you're willing to share?
Yes. And to be fair, it's I remember when, so there's a couple of things actually. I'm trying to articulate the delivery in my response. I'm a lot. I'm just a lot. I do a lot. I participate in a lot. I have my hands in different things. And I would say that all that I do, people on the outside may see what it is and value it, but the value doesn't come from the people closest to you. And it causes you to kind of shelter in place.
I do.
If you will.
Know what you mean. I do.
And those things belong maybe out there, but not in here or in this space. So I would say that is my non-controversial response
Understood.
to that question.
Completely understood. Understood. So, you also talked about there may be times when you prayed for something and it didn't look like what you imagined. Can you tell me about a time that you prayed for something and it did not look like what you imagined?
All right. Off of the, yes. Okay. So from one of my entrepreneurship endeavors, I had already written a book and I knew that I had the qualifications to use the book to be on different platforms and to be, not even platforms for the most part, but to be in certain spaces where it was definitely needed. And I had the LLC going. I saw the opportunity to partner with a nonprofit, and I thought that was the thing. But I also was volunteering at a high school because I wanted to segue the programs into that high school. And it seemed as if everything was aligning.
Right.
And it sort of kind of was. But then it was one of those, the pedigree, right? And then COVID hit. And then I'm helping more so. No, I'm trying to push my vision into the nonprofit that I'm partnering with, and I'm touching lives. I'm helping so many teen moms, but what I thought was going to come out of my vision of doing all of this and interacting, it just did not happen. And I could say that COVID had a huge impact on that because everything did get shut down.
Yeah.
However, I was one of the reasons that the nonprofit was still functioning. So I also equally felt that it would be bigger. My vision would be accepted because I created a way for it to stay open. But that was not what happened. So I prayed for all the things. I was walking the right paths. I was connecting with the right people. Life happened. But then I also feel like the people that I was supposed to touch, I did. The people I was supposed to help. I also feel that that was an assignment. So when it was time for me to go, although she refused, she would not accept my letter of resignation. And even though I went and got a job, I still worked there for about a year or so before she released me. Now I told her God said this was an assignment and it was over. This lady said, "Well, I'll talk to God." He told me that. So so that was a long-winded answer to your question. It was, using the book, using my social connections, using, my additional volunteering, and then going to partner into the nonprofit to build the business framework that I wanted. It did not come to fruition the way I thought it would when I put all of those things in place.
Right. And sometimes, I believe that, the things that we pray for may not necessarily be an immediate release. Right. And sometimes God is allowing us to be in a period of incubation for a later release. Right. And so it doesn't mean that even though it was delayed, it doesn't mean that it was a denial. It was a denial of the vision that he gave you coming to fruition. It just may not have been for that season, maybe for the next season.
And so who knows? Totally in agreement with that. Like at my big age, I feel like if things, especially as a result of that, but just gaining more wisdom throughout the years, that if something does not happen the way I pray for it, the way I anticipate it, the way I want it, I am automatically okay with that because I know that my Father, God, has something bigger and better prepared for me. And maybe that is not what he gave me to do at this point in time. So I am totally okay with it. Totally okay.
Yeah, well, sis, listen, our time is up for this particular episode. It was a heavy episode where we even had to do it in 3 parts.
Wait, I do. Okay.
That's how heavy it was.
No, I get it. Right. But we were talking about our similarities and how we have to use our testimonies to drive our faith and to help others know that they can press on and push through. So I was going to say this when we were talking about, I think it was the Christmas holiday, unwrapping the real meaning of Christmas episode, but it was more so about Mary and Elizabeth. And you shared a portion of how Jesus's birth through the lens of Mary, you communicated. But now in church last night, Pastor was talking about Jesus's birth or the Immaculate Conception of Mary through the lens of Elizabeth, right? And I'm going to sum it up with a sentence, but how he, I do not want to chop it up. How he communicated this was, one, how can a virgin get pregnant, right? How can a woman who was barren for so many years and up in age get pregnant, right? How you have to have the doubting people removed from you, hence Elizabeth's husband, Zacharias, is it Zacharias? Silenced when she was pregnant. Zachariah. Silenced because he couldn't believe or didn't believe that she could and would, etc. But how Elizabeth was 6 months pregnant when Mary went to go and tell her she was pregnant. Mary could not believe what was happening to her, but she found belief by seeing that it happened to Elizabeth. Not even happened to her, happened for her. Right? So I summarize to say, one, you're my sis, right? And I think he summed it up by saying, every Mary needs an Elizabeth so that they can see the fruition of the promise, so that they can understand that this is possible, faith. So I say that with our similarities, right? In our stories, in our walk, in our connection, and how we just vibe when we're together, like every me HD need pearls of wisdom, okay? Hopefully y'all got the connection, but if every Mary needs an Elizabeth, we can't do life on our own. And sometimes we have to get the vision of faith from others in order for us to prosper in the faith that God is trying to instill in us so that he can do his miracles and wonders in us, in our lives. And that we can take that and share those testimonies with others so that they can get the faith too and be able to walk on the path that he has designed for them.
Well, to that end, we're going to leave it there. And I see you. I see you.
I'll put my glasses on. I see you too.
I see you in the spirit, and I see what you're going through. Trouble don't last always. And so as we conclude this New Year's episode,
wow. New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us for our 11th episode.
Oh my gosh, it's the double digits. Oh, okay. I mean, well, 10 was double digits. Yes, we are so 11.
Thank you for joining the Work Week Wind Down with
me, HD,
and Pearls of Wisdom. Until next week, remember to like, subscribe, and share. God bless, and we'll see you next week.
Next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. Every Thursday, 5 p.m., new episode
on the Work Week Wind Down.